Hi, welcome to this week's Midweek Connection. My name is Todd Jordan. I serve as senior pastor here at Strawbridge United Methodist Church, and I am delighted that you've joined me. This is part 2 of a 4-week series that I'm doing, just taking a look at some values that I've noticed that have emerged as prevalent in our community. Our church council had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago to discuss some of these, and I wanted to just kind of share with you. One of these values that I wanted to talk about is this idea that we are a church where the undiscussable is discussable. And it really came out of this need several years ago to begin having a conversation right here at Strawbridge with what was our relationship with the LGBTQ community going to be. We had a number of church members that were coming from an affirming position, that is, they wanted to affirm the LGBTQ plus community. We had a number of church members that felt strongly that this was not something that we felt like we could affirm as Christians. And so what I did is I read about a dozen books of different perspectives, biblical scholars that looked at specific scriptures that talk about same-sex relationships. And what I did is I worked with a professional coach. I worked with a subcommittee of church council. We put together a plan to have these conversations and to intentionally come into conversation, about 40 people at a time, making sure that we had people from different perspectives as well as folks that we didn't know where they were, mix them up into table groups. And all I did was just sort of set the scene with hey, we need to speak in love, listen in love. I presented my findings from both sides of the biblical scholars, the affirming and the non-affirming side. And we just had a conversation, and it was rooted in this, in 1 Corinthians 13, the first part of that chapter, where Paul writes, "If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude." So what we did is we sort of framed the conversation that said, hey, the person across from you might have a completely different take on things, but we always share in love, because even if I'm right, if I do not have love, I'm still wrong. So this idea is what drove these conversations, and it was amazing after the conversation. And by the way, we started in prayer. We had a devotional, and I actually had church members in the church, in the prayer room at the time we were having these conversations, praying for us while we were doing this talking. So we set the context for how to take a relatively undiscussable subject matter, but put it in a way to where we could discuss it and we could be honest with one another, and yet at the same time, nobody felt the need to try to win or try to belittle the other, and we could have it. And so I just want to encourage us to continue to have these hard conversations with one another, but make the undiscussable discussable in the way that we love one another and the way that we listen to one another. I know there's a lot of things going on. There will always be things that happen in our society, in our world, that people will see differences about, and that people will feel very strongly about. And we want to make sure that we're creating spaces that are what I call safe and brave. That is, safe spaces where people can be honest, but also a brave space where people are encouraged to actually share, and folks don't hold it against them, so that we can just sort of cradle one another in this idea of fellowship and love. And this was a value, by the way, that came out of a lot of conversations about a lot of different subjects, things going on in society, things going on in politics, under multiple administrations. And it seems like that this is something we all agree on, that we want to be able to be a place where we can have these sort of hard conversations. And then as we practice this well, maybe we can bear witness to greater society that is finding themselves divided more and more over a variety of different issues going on. And maybe we can kind of show the world how we can be a people that still loves one another and at the same time can have these difficult conversations. So I just want to encourage you to always carry a spirit of grace, love, and humility. And if you find yourself in a place where you need to have a difficult conversation or a hard conversation with one another, that we'll always remember we want to do so in love, because that is the higher value. Thank you so much. I look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday, and may God bless you.